Hi everybody, this is Brandy and we're going to do another D.I.D story time, but this time with psychiatric rules. See you in a minute. I'm Brandy, I'm the host, but I am sort of co-conscious, I think, or I was. I think there are several of us here, but sometimes I don't know how many of us are here. So right now we'll just say I'm Brandy. How's everybody doing? I'm just gonna tell you a story from my past. In 2012, I was in an inpatient facility because I was receiving electroconvulsive therapy for depression. This was well before I knew I had D.I.D. and well before I had the ability to remember I was diagnosed with D.I.D. And I ended up in there for like quite some time, maybe a month. Now remember, I did not know I had D.I.D. and it wasn't in my charts that I had D.I.D. D.I.D. was not diagnosed where I lived. Not very often, certainly. So doctors didn't feel comfortable diagnosing it because there was a diagnostic bias against it. They would have been embarrassed in front of other doctors who respected them. Even if you did believe in D.I.D., if other doctors you worked with didn't, you could still look really bad and feel very embarrassed for diagnosing D.I.D. It was known by my psychologist and psychiatrist, but it wasn't transferred to the facility in my notes. So nobody knew I had D.I.D. and I didn't even know I had D.I.D. because I didn't believe my doctors when they told me that. I had a very strange relationship with doctors and staff members when I was in hospitals. I think it's because I had D.I.D. and nobody knew it. They had this sort of baffled, they could not figure me out. And I was just being honest. I was always just being honest and they just like couldn't figure me out according to them. Sometimes when doctors can't figure you out, they get offended. They feel like it's an insult to their ego that you're trying to be difficult or that, you know, you're trying to be mysterious or something, I don't know. I had doctors who were always treated me differently from other patients. Probably because I was the only patient with D.I.D. They pinpointed there was something going on with me that was atypical even for psychiatric patients, but they just couldn't bring themselves to pinpoint what. So this is Brandy and Salem right now. Salem is the new altar that formed when Eric, my partner, had to go to the emergency room after he fell and busted his head and had a bunch of seizures, and it scared me, so I was afraid he was gonna die, so I had a new altar split off and her name is Salem. And I don't know, it's just a weird feeling right now. I don't even know. I don't know, I just feel strange. So I don't know, I'm sorry if I'm not as responsive as I'm supposed to be or entertaining. Okay, well I wanted to show you something. So when I was in this hospital, because I've always had weird relationships with doctors, and I mean beyond weird, like not normal patient weird. They would treat all the other patients one way and me another way, and often it was to my benefit. Often they would speak to me longer. They were more respectful of me. And I guess generally they treated me special, and I can't like say I didn't enjoy that because that would be a lie. But it could also go very sour very quickly. So here is an example of what happens when your charm goes sour in a mental hospital. And I don't even know why, I don't remember why they put these rules on me, but I assume it's because I had D.I.D. and I was doing behaviors that I didn't even realize I was doing. In this facility there were no levels, but you know, they could put as many restrictions on you as they wanted. And so in this case, I got like an extra, let me see, like an extra 12 rules added to me specifically and no other patient. There were 20 patients on the ward, and no other patient. This was given to me because of behaviors I had that I wasn't necessarily aware of, and because they didn't know I had D.I.D. And so they didn't know what to make of me. So here we go, let's see, what are the rules? Here is the paper. I don't know if you can even see it. This is the actual paper I was given in the facility when, you know, 8 years ago. And it has like the list of rules that apply only to me, and also notes that I wrote on it out of anger because I did not appreciate the rules that were exclusively for me. So here we go. This is called the Treatment Plan Addendum of mine. These are rules just for me. 1-to-1 observation level. Suicide and self-harm precautions, including in shower, bathroom, etc. as per policy. No personal cell phone or computer. No hospital bed in room. No sheets. Blankets only and a pillow. No cords in room. May not be in room except for sleeping, toileting, and hygiene care. May only have clothes is wearing. Everything else to be in locker room, no off unit. No food, drinks, etc. and other items to be brought in by visitors. When in areas outside of room, staff are to ensure there is nothing within her reach. Keep an eye on her hands. Search her room, under mattress, drawers, etc. every shift and whenever you feel like it, PRN. Do not get involved in any conversations with her about other staff, other patients, or about her past, etc. Focus of stay and of interventions for nursing and therapy staff. Brandy developing personal wellness plan. Here and now use of coping skills and leisure pursuits. They gave this to me because I was, I guess, acting out and I was being dangerous. And I don't think I deserved such restrictions at the time, but I guess I probably did because of liability and all that. But see, it was pretty simple. Like, had they known I had D.I.D, instead of just thinking I was this extremely unpredictable person, then maybe they could have found a better way to treat me, you know? That's why it's important for doctors to believe in this disorder when it is real. Yes, I'm sure you will meet malingerers and people who suffer from factitious disorder. But once in a while, you'll meet one of us, the people who actually have it. And we deserve to have the same research, the same treatment options as everybody else. So you wanna hear some of the notes I wrote on it? Because I was super pissed, so here we go. So I wrote these things about the addendum. There is a possibility that this addendum is flawed. After all, at one time, the world was believed to be flat. I was a little snarky. People should not roll over to authority blindly. They should always question, because what happens when people don't question? The Holocaust is what happens. I was dramatic. Who was just following orders? Nazis. When certain Nazis were caught and tried, they each said, I was just following orders. So as you can see, I was not well. I was extremely dramatic at the time, and I don't know which alters were writing this because my alters were there. I don't have much of a memory of that stay because A, I was getting ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, and usually don't remember about 6 months around that time very well, and B, because I had alters and I didn't know it. So I don't know a lot of what happened, but I will keep reading you these awesome notes by an extremely awesome girl. To a much lesser degree, that's what the nurses are doing. They're just following the addendum. I hope it's a proud moment for them. Always stand up for your principles. A fallible addendum? No. Stand up for your principles, especially in the face of ignorance. Authority that won't rationally explain its motives. That's how I felt. Just know I know how ridiculous these comparisons are. They're offensively absurd. I was not well when I wrote this. I was in an inpatient facility, so please keep that in mind. And I do not take this seriously now when I read it. These obviously are things that cannot be compared. But just, you know, the machinations of a sick girl. Here we go. What would Rosa Parks be if she didn't stand up for her principles? At the back of the fucking bus, that's where... There cannot be compared. Cannot be compared. My experiences and those experiences cannot be compared ever. I understand that. I apologize. I'm just trying to give you guys the honest layout of what my brain was thinking at this time. It is clear this is about discomfort under the guise of safety. I do still believe that to this day, because there are things on here that didn't need to be. They often did that in facilities. They will say, oh, this is for your safety, and you look around, you're like, no, no, no. Some of the stuff doesn't provide any sort of safety, and you know it. Like, you learn this stuff over time. Like, okay, like giving you, like making it so your food sucks. You know, like, how does that make me safer? Dang. Stepford nurses equals KO. This was this female nurse that I couldn't stand, so I said she was a Stepford nurse. How about instead of mechanically repeating, you are here to work on your treatment plan, etc., perhaps explaining your rationale, because I didn't think they were being rational. It is my First Amendment protected right to freedom of speech. Yeah, well, that's true. Okay, let's see what else. I don't know if you can even see, this is like my pencil writings on the back. That was insane, you guys don't even know. The truth is as follows. 1, I'm considered BPD among other things. 2, I'm considered manipulative and little more. 3, they believe I'm playing around in treatment. 5, they believe I have no sincerity whatsoever. 6, they believe I'm hogging resources that could be used by someone who really needs help. 7, I'm considered difficult. Yes, I was considered difficult because there were like, I don't know, 15 of me, and I didn't know that. And this one's in all caps, all dramatic caps for, you know, anyone who's gonna read it or I was gonna give it to. But little do they know, I am still human. I'm fallible just like them. Because, you know, they never thought they were fallible. They do not have to be fucking adversarial. I guess I felt that way. In this environment, I will always lose. This is a very familiar position. I have to say that's true in hospitals. You're never gonna win. They want me to focus on my treatment, but how do I do that when their plan constantly distracts me? I have an extremely difficult time focusing on mental health when I feel I'm being singled out and treated with less decency than the other patients. It's mentally hurting me. They want me out. Some people, they just don't want to help. Well, see, at the time I was diagnosed as borderline, and borderline was considered a wastebasket diagnosis, among other things. And, you know, they always felt like they can't help borderlines, and that's not my primary diagnosis now. That's one of my alters diagnosis. I have dissociative identity disorder. And so I was misdiagnosed horribly sometimes. But since they didn't understand what they were seeing, because they refused to acknowledge this disorder and therefore not study it and didn't understand it, I was treated all kinds of bizarre ways because they didn't know how to treat me, because they refused to learn how to treat me. And that's the point of this video. This is Brandy, this is Salem, this is James, this is, I don't know anybody else, like we're all kind of mixed up, and I think we've been this way the whole time. Like sometimes you don't know right away who you are, sometimes you can't figure it out because you're all kind of mixed up and you don't know who's most forward. So yeah, this is us and that's our video. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope it wasn't disappointment. Bye. Subscribe and whatever.